Alright, I'm Brad Gillette, and I'm going to be conducting an interview with two peers, Cooper Bell and Shane Lampe. First up, I have Cooper Bell. So, in my class, we've done a lot of research regarding the Red Cedar River. It's basically what the class is all about, and I'm basically conducting this interview to see how knowledgeable my peers are about the chemical contents of the Red Cedar River. So first, do you know any of the things that are typically measured when looking at water chemistry of a river to make sure that it's not polluted?
Not really, no.
No? Okay. So basically we have pH, nitrate, ammonia, and phosphates, and we look at those and make sure that all the levels are not either extremely high or too low. You want them to be kind of right in the middle. So based on that, do you think that the pH levels are high?
Yes.
Actually, surprisingly, they're really not. I also was thinking before this class that the pH levels would be high, but even with all the people we have around here and the possibility of the pollution, they're actually not. They're not too high. So with that being said, how polluted do you think the Red Cedar River is?
Not very polluted.
That's actually true. It's not polluted, which I was surprised to learn because given the fact that we live, on a college campus and there's a lot of students and a lot of different buildings and stuff, a lot of room for runoff into the river, which adds to pollution. I was actually extremely surprised to learn that it's not very polluted. All the levels are pretty much right exactly where you want them to be. So with that, do you think that there's a better possibility of the pollution being worse downstream?
It's probably the same, right?
Yeah, that's actually true as well. The pH, nitrate, ammonia, and phosphate levels pretty much stay exactly the same regardless of whether you go up or downstream, at least as far as the Red Cedar River. That's another thing that I was surprised to learn because I was thinking that, with the river flow, it would be taking any possible pollution and just kind of bringing it straight to the bottom of the river where I thought the levels would increase, but they actually didn't. So also, around the river, obviously the river's surrounded by soil, which gets into the river. So do you think that soil that soil's chemistry greatly differs from the water chemistry?
No.
That's actually also true. The soil chemistry and the water chemistry are actually almost completely consistent the whole way down the river. So yeah, they're pretty much exactly the same, which I don't think that comes across as too much of a surprise considering they're pretty much right next to each other and kind of more or less part of each other. Alright, thank you for the interview, and next up I'm going to be interviewing Shane Lampe. Alright, so in my class we've done a lot of research regarding the Red Cedar River, so I would like to conduct an interview to see how knowledgeable my peers are about the chemical content of the Red Cedar River. And so for the first question, I was just wondering, do you know any of the things that are typically measured when looking at the water chemistry to make sure that the river is not polluted?
Probably pH. I think E. coli, and probably just any other chemical, whatever. I guess that's pH and E. coli. I guess are the main things I would think of.
Okay, so yeah, you definitely do look at those two, but in class, the four main things that we measure are pH, nitrates, phosphates, and ammonia. And basically what we're looking for is to make sure that the levels aren't super high or really low, and typically they're not too bad. You'd like to have them right in the middle. So do you think that the pH levels are ever high?
I don't know, it probably varies. I don't think they get to a dangerous point. I think it would probably...
Yeah, that's actually right. The pH levels typically don't get very high. They stay right about where they need to be almost every time we've looked at the water's chemistry. So based on that, how polluted do you think the Red Cedar River is?
I would think that it's relatively clean. I mean, it is right next to a major city, so I mean, I doubt it checks out perfect, but I bet it's decent enough to call it fishing, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Actually, one thing I was surprised to learn is that it's really not polluted at all. The levels are almost always consistently where they need to be, and I was really shocked to learn that because, given the fact that we live on a college campus, with a lot of human interaction, it's just it's almost shocking to know that there isn't pollution from the different various things going on because of all the people. So with that being said, do you think the pollution, if there were any, or the levels at least, do you think they would rise as you went downstream?
I don't think so. I think I thought they would decrease. No, actually, yeah, I do think they'd go up. Actually, yes.
Okay, so actually they stay pretty much relatively the same. They're pretty consistent from the measurements that we've taken. They're pretty solid almost the whole way down. They stay almost exactly the same, which I also found that surprising because I was thinking, like anything that could potentially be harmful would just be taken straight downstream, and then it would just kind of collect at the bottom. So I was expecting to see, like a normal level at the top, and then a higher level as you got towards the bottom. But that actually isn't the case. And then finally, do you think that the soil chemistry is really differing from the water chemistry, like the surrounding soil in the area?
I think it would be consistent with the water because it's basically running through it the whole time, and if the ecosystem in the river is doing alright, I bet the soil is good too.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly right. They don't really differ at all. Pretty much the pH, nitrate, ammonia, and phosphate contents of the two are almost exactly the same the whole way through. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time.
Yep.